This segment brought to you by Kansas Regenerative Medicine. Your stem cells, your health, your life.
And we're back, and I'm still awake.
We really need to get people to deliver coffee for us.
Coffee would be good.
I've only had 1 cup this morning, and I can really feel it. I'm not really functioning that well. And we need a masseuse on staff. You know, we're getting to be a big deal around Kansas.
We'll talk to our director.
Yeah,
our contracts, I think, are coming up here quickly. So.
I go to the co-op, and people recognize me, you know, so we need,
You know.
Go to the feedlots, and people, I know you, so, we need a little perk.
Something.
Here and there,
anyway,
that's right.
So, back to business. We've talked about a lot of museums and really interesting places around the state, and there's one over in Lawrence, and you're going to do a story about that, and it is the Dyche Museum, right?
It's amazing. The Dyche Museum has been a treasure in Kansas for a long, long time. It's the old-fashioned natural history museum where you got a lot of stuffed animals and stuff. But they have updated, like the exhibit that we were there seeing is on viruses and molecules, and so it's a fantastic exhibit. I don't know of any place that kids enjoy more. And of course it's always cool because you can go up and you can actually touch a stuffed polar bear or whatever, and you see the big panorama. But what really blew me away was I took my grandkids who are 4 and 5 and my granddaughter who's 11, and the 4-year-old who is ADD, you can't get him to sit still, and he's looking into the microscopes, and he's stopping, and he's spending time, and he's looking at these bugs, and he's looking at these molecules, and I was really amazed at how engaged he was with what I considered the less spectacular exhibits. And it was really amazing to see the kids engaged that way. And all the kids that we took with us really, really loved it. So I think you will too. Louis Lindsay Dyche came to Kansas Territory as a baby. His parents settled in Osage County, where they farmed and raised 12 children. His boyhood was spent outdoors, on the farm or hunting and trapping. He also visited with local Indian tribes and was fascinated by their stories. He rarely attended school but wanted an education. He sold cattle he had bought and raised and used the money to enroll at the Kansas State Normal School, the Teachers College in Emporia. He graduated early and then enrolled at KU. Inspired by KU's science professor, Francis Snow, Dyche pursued his studies with zeal and became the equivalent to a teaching assistant. In 1881, while on a field trip to New Mexico, the group of KU scholars just missed being attacked by a band of Apache warriors. Dyche graduated from KU with 2 bachelor's degrees. He married and continued teaching at the university. He spent a summer in Washington, D.C., training under the National Museum's chief taxidermist and became skillful at the craft. In 1891, the U.S. Army asked him to preserve the remains of the old cavalry horse, Comanche, the only survivor found on the Little Bighorn battlefield after the defeat of George Armstrong Custer's 7th Cavalry. He also helped assemble specimens for the Kansas exhibit at the 1893 World's Columbian Exposition in Chicago. Dyche continued teaching at KU and devoting his summers to collecting animal specimens, and he lobbied the legislature to build a museum to house them. In 1901, they voted on the funds. Dyche spent years helping to design the structure and providing it with exhibits. Later on, Dyche also became the state's fish and game warden. Under his leadership, the state fish hatchery at Pratt was enlarged into one of the biggest and most modern in the country. He wrote legislation that protected endangered species and set hunting seasons for most mammals and game birds. He also spoke on the need for soil and water conservation. The Natural History Museum was renamed the Dyche Museum of Natural History. Dyche Hall was placed on the National Register of Historic Places in 1973 and celebrated its centennial in 2003. The 7 million specimens in the collection, as well as research facilities and offices, now known as the Natural History Museum and Biodiversity Research Center, are housed in Dyche Hall and spill over into 5 other campus buildings.
Hello friends, I'm Ernie Rodina.
And I'm Dawn Dawson with the Better Horses Radio Show.
For over 9 years, we've been bringing the Better Horses Radio Show to markets all across the Midwest. We talk about God, lots about horses.
We talk about cows, we talk about horse health, we talk to top trainers, and we even talk about Roy Rogers.
We are having a blast with Better Horses Radio Show and would love to take it to a market near you.
So visit our website at betterhorsesradio.com and let us or your local radio station know you'd like to hear it in your area.
The Better Horses Radio Show is unbelievable.